Hi everybody, Phil Strong, thanks for joining me today. It's great to have you with me today. Someone's written a question though saying what sort of percentage of income should I put aside in case of emergencies? And so let's just explain what an emergency fund is. An emergency fund is a small amount of money that you have put aside that you do not touch, and the sole purpose for this money is to help you out of a hole if you have an emergency. So an example of an emergency would be the car blowing up and needing major repairs, thousands of dollars of repairs. Or it could be that the washing machine and the dryer blew up in the same week and you need to go out and buy those and you don't want to put them onto credit, which is a good idea. It could also include an emergency like you or your spouse losing your job suddenly and needing to use that emergency fund to help you to pay the bills while you're waiting for new income to come in. So those are types of things that I would class as an emergency. An emergency is not needing a new outfit for Friday night. It is not when your jeans rip and you need to go and buy some new ones, okay? It's not an emergency. So there's an old adage in financial planning that says you should have at least 3 months of your net income put aside in case of emergency. And some people teach 6 months, but 3 months is probably more achievable. Now what that means is, if you have a household income of $40,000, that means you're probably bringing home around $30,000 to $33,000. So let's just stick with $30,000, and that means you've got $2,500 a month net income coming into your household. So by this formula, what that means is you should think about saving up 3 months of $2,500, which is $7,500, and putting that aside into an account as an emergency fund and not touching it. Now, it's quite hard to get to this point, but I would encourage you to think about it, because the reality is if you get into trouble and you have an emergency, the first thing you're going to want to do is get access to some money. Now the banks, if you've lost your job, the banks are not going to loan you more money. If you've got credit cards, you might think, oh well, we could survive on credit card. But if you suddenly had $7,500 worth of credit card debt and you're being charged 20% at least per annum on that money, it's going to take you a long time to pay it back. So, think positively about working towards having an emergency fund. When we were younger, we got given some shares, and so what we did is we allocated that as our emergency reserve. And we just forgot about the shares, we put them aside, we didn't use the money, and what that meant was if an emergency came, we knew that we could access funds by cashing in those shares. Okay, that was the way that we chose to do it for that season in our life, and later on in life when things changed, we did it a different way. Alright, so an emergency fund is aimed to have at least 3 months built up over time so that you can access it if you need to. Now look, it could take you a while to do that, but guess what? You should make it one of your goals. So that means what I'm saying is it's not the only goal, it's one of your first goals that you do, is to work out how you can save that money. Alright, so my name is Phil Strong, I hope that's helped you. I look forward to seeing you back here again soon where we can answer some more questions, and take care. Bye-bye.